Welcome everybody to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. We are your hosts the most. I myself, Black Spartan, the man to my left, your right, Tafari TV, and show guy Joe. Fellas, how we doing on this? We made it to Friday weekend.
Bring on the fall weather. I'm tired of the heat.
I mean, that weather has. What do you have, Joe, that you were left unsupervised again?
Tafari knows what it is. See, I told you I got it coming in the mail.
Is that the one that you were supposed to get, or is that something else?
That's the new one.
I have so many questions.
It's being weird.
No,
we actually looked at the shows the other day.
That came from the show. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Lord Almighty. But as you can see, guys, we are a little bit older, so sometimes words do fly on the show. But hey, we do try to be professional about it sometimes. At the same time, guys, we do show trailers and clips on here that may be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, not a lot to get into this weekend because we've kind of had a lot going on, but the Minecraft trailer dropped. And fellas, have y'all seen it? Or, because I know I haven't yet. But apparently there's mixed reviews about this. But anybody want to give me thoughts on before I play it?
This is nightmare inducing.
I never got into Minecraft. I was around when it first took off, and I just missed that wave forever.
Okay, well, this will be interesting. I haven't seen it, so for everybody else,
nightmare fuel.
As Joe has said, it's nightmare fuel, and like I said, we both have our nightmare fuel, so we'll get through it. Here's the Minecraft movie trailer.
What the hell?
Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
Who are you?
I am Steve. Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
All right, so that was the trailer, guys, for Minecraft. As you can see, comes out April 4th. It's different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know what Minecraft looks like. My son plays it. He has fun with it. I was worried when it was becoming a movie how they're going to do this, because Minecraft is just your creative build. It allows you to use your imagination, allows you to play certain mods in games, things of that nature. I do see what Joe is saying about the nightmare fuel, though, because I don't know. It's out there. I know it'll attract some people. What do you guys think?
It'll be on streaming April 24th.
Damn.
It's really dependent on whether or not they get that young, addictive, and OG Minecraft crowd in it. Animation or the CG looks like the Goat Simulator trailer from last week. I'm guessing there is like a clause in game movies that says get either Chris Pratt or Jack Black or both if you can, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing about getting Jason Momoa and Jack Black, I mean, I can see Jack Black playing some out there roles because he's had some success. I mean, Kung Fu Panda is a great example of him doing something that you don't really see him voiced in, but again, successful franchise. I just, Steve is again. I was like, Say what?
Question.
Yeah.
Isn't Steve supposed to be black?
They didn't really say specifically.
I didn't even know Minecraft had characters
In
until
Smash
I mean,
Brothers, isn't he like?
There is a character in there, but he does look on the beige side. I can't say it because I've never really gotten that deep into Minecraft. So you could be 100% right, but I don't know.
I didn't know we even had characters in Minecraft until Smash decided to make Steve a person.
Yeah, that was still. I'm sorry, it's still odd because to take something in block form and then still try to make a show out of it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just like, and then I got to realize I'm not the target demographic. Safari, like you said, this is basically reaching out to those that are fans of Minecraft, of that young generation, and who they're pulling. That's the only thing I can take from that. It's just the whole idea of just it's not for. I mean, I guess they're saying it's for some adults, but I don't know. I really can't say because this is one of those weird ones where you really don't expect someone to, you don't expect certain movies to be made, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like I'm expecting, God forbid, I hope they don't make a Roblox game, because there are some mods in there that I have seen that are questionable as all get out. So I hope there's never a Roblox movie, but who knows? I didn't expect a Minecraft movie. As Joe has pointed out, okay, so yeah, Steve is, I can't say he's black because, I mean, if you're going about pixelization, he's kind of a mix of three different things, honestly.
All right, and then he had like 8 variations with the Smash drop, so I didn't know which one was the real Steve.
Right. So
we were going to bring Steve to life as Jack Black, of all people.
I mean, if you're going to bring, from my understanding, if you're going to bring somebody that's random and weird and out there, what other actor out there besides Jim Carrey fits that role? I mean, I'm not knocking it, but still. But to each their own. If you are looking forward to Minecraft, that is coming out April 4th, or as Joe said, wait 20 days, it'll be on streaming. So
kids are going to make or break this movie because it's for an audience. I just know I'm not part of it. So
right.
I might go check it out if nothing else is out around that time, or if I'm just looking to see something, I'll maybe give it a shot, but we will see.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. It's like, it's not my demographic, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But other things that we can call it a grand opening and grand closing. Concord. It came, it went, Sony scrapped it. Here's the messed up part about Concord. Not only the fact that Sony has already scrapped it and is going to be removing the digital copy. If you would think that scalpers would not be trying to max out on physical copies of Concord, but they are. So again, Concord was only out 11 days. 11 days post-launch, Sony's already pulled it after trying to, discount the sale. Scalpers are now trying to jack up the price to sometimes 2 to maybe 3 times as much as the cost of the game is for those that want to play it. Now, here's my thing about all this. If you're a scalper and you're just trying to get over on somebody, there's a special place in hell for you, especially for the simple fact of the matter is that this game, as me, Joe, and Safari did point out, didn't really have a lot of pizzazz, didn't really have a lot of showing at the Summer of Games Fest, which was just last month. It didn't have a good showing. The reviews from the beta test were not very good as well. There wasn't a lot of fanfare behind it. It wasn't a lot of advertisements behind it. My understanding, when it was released, it was buggy, patchy, and folks just couldn't enjoy it. So because they're pulling it, and the fact that there's still physical copies out there, scalpers now want to jack up prices. Why? Especially on a failed game. It's like, I'll put it this way. My failed game will always be Anthem. I loved Anthem when it first came out. Was it doomed from launch? Absolutely. Did EA abandon it? All together true. But do I still like going back in there and playing it sometimes? Yeah, because we had Iron Man for 20 plus days until you realize the leveling up system was crappy. It was patchy. The same missions got reran over and over again. But still, it's a game that I know and love in my heart, and I still have a physical copy of it. Some people might feel the same about Concord. But guys, what do you think? I mean, we already knew that Concord was already going to be a doomed ship from Jump Street. But are we really surprised now that scalpers are just trying to take advantage of those that still want to play it regardless?
I mean, I'm not shocked, but it's just like, who's buying it at this point? Because it's not delisted yet, so you can just download it. But even when it's done, what do you just do? Play offline by yourself in an empty lobby? Or I don't know enough about the game that it works.
Well, some people are actually
why you failed, but
you can still do private games. You can still set up your own private games and just go that way. Some people, there's one guy on PC that's actually set up as a server. So folks if you're trying to make money, I mean, just like GTA does, you have those GTA servers out there. People make money off of those. Maybe somebody's trying to do the same with Concord. At least that's my guess from it. But again, it was a doomed game, but some people still want to be able to play it. But I just think it's crazy that scalpers are just trying to, get over on people in the worst way humanly possible. But Joe, any thoughts?
I didn't realize we were covering the scalper angle. I thought we were talking about it in general because I gave no thoughts to scalpers on this at all.
No, go for it.
Well, I mean, look at it. It's another 5v5 hero shooter. Its character designs are fine, which is part of the problem. Okay. You have a fan base that already has its other games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, Medal of Honor. Is Medal of Honor still a thing? I keep forgetting. PUBG, that's what I mean. PUBG, stuff like that, and they're all free to play, and you expect us to pay $40. From what I understand, people that play the game, they say the game plays fine, and it's fun, but it's kind of like Days Gone, where congratulations, you've made a competent game, but you're not doing anything to wow us to bring us to that game. Like I said, Days Gone, competently build open world zombie killing game.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. There's no we can make our own tools, we can make custom weapons. There's some sort of bizarre challenge or exciting gimmick to it. I thought maybe the zombie hordes was supposed to be the thing, but Concord has the same problem. What separates it from Overwatch other than we get a new cutscene every week? Great. I don't care about any of the characters. Your story, if you wanted to tell me a story, why didn't we get a PvE section? I mean, and we're going to take this into the part that we're adults here. Overwatch had adult content made off of it.
Yeah.
Sure. They're not doing that with this one because no one finds their character designs inspiring. All the character designs remind me of backups or extras from Guardians of the Galaxy that just kind of live in nowhere, live across the galaxy. The trailer presented a Guardians of the Galaxy style game. Sorry, I'm going to keep going. It's kind of a rant ramble. Sorry.
Go.
We were expecting the very, very good, but for whatever reason, financially underperforming Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanks for that, Avengers. We expected that with this game, and instead we got 5v5 hero shooter, where they're already in an overly populated market. They want us to pay $40 plus roadmap content when it needs to be free. They got another game, Marvel Rivals, coming out where everyone's excited because it's a 5v5 hero shooter, but we are excited because it's Marvel characters. We know who they are. We know what to expect. It's free to play. We will have to pay for cosmetics or characters or whatnot. That's fine. I'll pay $10 for Venom. I'm never going to use them because they got magic in there, but that's what Concord's problem is. It's the Days Gone of 5v5 hero shooter. It's competently made. It's fun to play, but there's no hook.
I mean, you are right. Although Days Gone, that was one of my favorite games I still love playing. But you got a point. There's nothing that makes it stand out. It falls into that same sandbox of free to play, four versus four, and you're trying to cash in on the microtransactions. You're 100% right. There's nothing that makes it stand out from it. Although you would think, and I keep saying this all the time, although I keep hoping for a Days Gone sequel because there's still plenty of story in that one, but I digress. Leave that one alone because that's a whole nother rant. I don't want to go on about Days Gone. But no, with Concord, it's exactly right. It's just it's like a rush to process on really trying to get something out there, but you're not trying to make it stand out. Like you said, 100% right.
So is it still out there, or did they officially yank it from the shelves on top of?
They are in the process of yanking it and giving full refunds.
Right.
So like
and a lot of people
are people flooding the stores and buying it to sell, or do people sell copies they already have? Because like
selling
both my
copies,
Walmart,
A and B more than likely.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
both
a
my
little bit A, a little
Walmarts,
bit B.
yeah, both my Walmarts don't have it, but I'm like, we don't get a lot of product over here anyway, so I wasn't sure if that was because of this or if they've been even GameStop and Instagram was like, JK, don't buy this.
Right. I mean that's honestly what it is. Is that a lot of places are already bought out, and just like when PS5 and Xbox Series X came out, scalpers have already bought bundles of it, and now they're just reselling it at higher prices. So it's a little bit of column A, column B. But
and on top of that, the developers even said we're going to go back to the drawing board on this and see what we can do with this game to salvage it. I mean, more than likely they're going to add a PvE scenario into the game because, like, the best example we can get for how a 4-man party shooter game is Helldivers 2. We paid $40 for Helldiver 2. We have to pay for microtransactions in Helldivers 2. The difference between that and this is it's a 4-man PvE kill simulator. We are living out our Starship Trooper fantasy, our surviving Terminator fantasy. Very soon we're going to be surviving the Protoss.
Still need Casper Van Dien on the voice acting. Go ahead.
But like that's its hook. That's why people are willing to pay $40. We actually have a Starship Troopers game now, and we have Earth Defense Force, but there's not a game where I can hop in with 4 friends, go fight bugs, go fight Terminators, and then eventually go fight the not Protoss, and have call down tactical strikes with giant fire bombs, have lasers, have machine guns, and everything underneath the sun, and you have multiple mission types in the game. Like that's the hook.
Although the surprising thing about Helldivers is that they're getting a new enemy. They haven't announced it yet. I need to get
that's that Protoss thing I keep bringing up. That's
the new enemy. Okay,
is that on top of the
not quite Protoss?
The last I heard, people were not happy with the last couple of updates because they introduced the level 10 difficulty, new spawns, harder bosses, and then nerfed all the best weapons. So people are just raging out.
Pretty much. But
yeah, there's been some stuff involving the Terminators where they've had to balance it to where like plants are starting to like decrease damage for laser fire and whatnot, but that's like on both sides. So even the Terminator lasers are doing less damage, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I just hop in a mech suit and just rain hellfire down, and once I run out of bullets.
I was doing the same thing until just I forget which missions they had for a while where it's like you got to set off the nuke in the egg nest, and it was just freaking Bile Titan after Bile Titan. I couldn't get. That was the first time I've ever lost because we ran out of lives and just couldn't. Just couldn't. Like if at one point I just had a whole fire kit and just like let's just burn them all and outrun them until they collapse. That didn't work, and they just kept coming, man. It's bad when even GameStop roast you because on their Instagram right now. It pays to buy physical, ... but don't buy this. Sony has announced Concord is going offline today, actually, and refunds will be offered. And if you go to eBay, $99, $110, $150, $150. These are all the sold ones, by the way, but they have a slash through it, meaning somebody offered them a lot lower, or they offered themselves from a second account to look like it's sold. And so no one's making $500 off of this. If anybody bought it, they were desperate to see, for God's sake, but that's it.
And that's the part. But I'm glad you brought up. But I am glad you brought up. I'm glad you brought up GameStop, because that's a wonderful way. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say before I go to GameStop?
Well, there's another thing that actually tags on to this one before we hop on to GameStop, is that Sony's president said we don't have a lot of IP that we can use now that Concord is filled, and a lot of people are really coming after this man with the amount of dead IP. They literally have a mountain of dead IP that they can like resurrect any time. Like we have Resistance,
like
we have Siphon Filter, we have
everybody you gave a cameo to in the new Astrobot game that just came out.
Just saying.
I still don't understand Little Big
Well,
Planet at all.
almost not everybody. They don't know. So Bad Guy and Kazuya are in that thing.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Surprisingly, no Final Fantasy though. I guess they thought it was enough in Astro's Playroom though.
But still, it's just the whole idea of, like Joe said, you have a bunch of IPs that literally you can resurrect. For a lot of people, everybody was expecting Legacy of Kain Soul Reaper to come back. That was a name that got brought
that'd
up.
be so wonderful.
You have a whole PlayStation All-Stars game you could redo with new characters. PS Move, which nobody played.
Tricky 4.
Like I said, there's a
PlayStation Move All-Stars that nobody played because no one bought that stupid wand. But that was a crossover with Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Cooper that people wanted for years. But you put it behind a gimmick that nobody bought, so you could easily redo that or do a follow-up or do anything new with any of those three. Well, I think Ratchet and Clank are still alive with Insomniac, but the other two you could still do something with, because we all just pretend Jack 4 never happened and that Jack Combat Racing was the last game.
That is true. But the reason why we bring up GameStop, guys, outside of the fact that, you know, it's the place that never goes away. If you've seen, or if you've seen GameStop have a different look in your area, it is only because GameStop is now trying a new IP, which is basically GameStop Retro. Now, of course, this is the website. As you can see, they're saying that there are some GameStops that have retro gaming, which means, as you can see at the bottom, they are going to be offering previous systems. As you can see right there, take your pick from Nintendo DS all the way to Xbox 360, even some Nintendo and NES, some Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn, and Dreamcast, PS Vita. Pretty much every previous system up until now is now going to be available, as well as certain games. And yes, if you're wondering, they're going to probably try to nickel and dime you on the games too, because as you can see right here, prime example, Super Smash Brothers on Melee on GameCube, $45.
That's not terrible compared to what it's. I feel like they are trying to undercut mom and pop shops, because a lot of these prices are lower than what you would find them for at a con or at a local retro store. Like,
and someone will absolutely buy Melee to start a tournament.
But here's the point I'm making.
That too. No more Dolphin Emulator.
But let me ask you this, and I'm just going to point this out. Are you okay with paying $65 for a Mario Kart Double Dash on GameCube?
Compared to what I've seen, some people. Go ahead.
Now keep in mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
If it's inbox with instructions, yes.
Yeah, if what they're pictured is all for that price, because Double Dash, I've been told, Double Dash is the one I never got my hands on, and it's the most expensive one to get a hold of. So, like, these prices aren't bad, but the question is, if I walk in there, am I getting what's in this picture? Because I refuse to believe that is the copy of Sonic Adventure 2 that's going to be in there, and it's not going to be like the CD by itself at that price.
But that's my point. And this is why I say I'm having an issue with it, because if you're going to be selling games, I understand values of certain games go up and down. This is a given. Like, you know, I can argue Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on GameCube, still $60. Wind Waker was what, 20 years ago by now? 2001, 2002?
20 years, because it was 2003 and I played it last year, which I got it free, thank you, ma'am. But the next when we went to, I believe it was J1 Con,
Yep.
$90.
But that's the problem I'm getting at is just that if we start going down the list of games, and yes, we could spend we could be doing that. But my question being, hey, let me get this out, Joe, before I throw this to you. My question being is that if we're looking at the prices of everything, GameStop has a wonderful idea because yes, a lot of games, a lot of places. I mean, GameStop cornered the market because, like Tafara said, not a lot of mom and pop places actually still have video games anymore. Okay, cool. You want to do retro? That's great. You want to bring back systems? That's cool too. Is it fair to say that GameStop has now put themselves in a spot where they can control pricing on these retro games to where they can pretty much influence the market now, or are they just simply joining everybody else?
Go ahead, Joe.
Probably a little bit of both, in my opinion. Some of these prices are a bit much, but that's that is a jewel case in case Dreamcast of Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
Going up, we look at the Wind Waker one. That the GameCube version of Wind Waker is the original version, meaning that does not have the quality of life. That is the harder, more challenging version of Wind Waker. So I kind of can see that one. Some of the prices, no, but like I'm looking right now at a in-box copy of Transformers Devastation for PlayStation 4. Out of print everywhere else, we can now get it, have access to it via retro gaming for $44.99. That's a fair price to me.
Okay.
Right.
This is going to be one of those.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be one of those pick and choose battles. Go ahead, Tafari.
I was saying because like most of the stuff you see here on Dreamcast, especially if it is what you get in the picture, and it's not some dingy, overly yellowed, molded out case that they're giving you. Even the CD by itself for Adventure 2 is going to run you at least $150. So if you're telling me that that's what I'm getting, a complete in case with the manual for less than $100 for most of these is not bad. And that's what's weird about this is that one, some of the locations are near the local mom and pop shops, and these were hand-picked locations, and the prices, that is the GameStop they picked in Orlando. My mom and pop shop is across the street. So I'm just like weird, but and I'm like all the prices for the games that are popular, which you put on the site, are all undercutting what they normally sell for at con. Not even like scalper eBay stuff, just what they sell for at cons and at mom and pop shops because of upkeep, because of value, and because they've been taken care of and in usually quality condition. So it seems like a great idea, but it's just like, are y'all trying to run the mom and pops out of business so now you're the only people to go to? Because like even if that's a real copy of not Majora's
Sonic
Mask,
Adventure 2.
I was looking at the N64 game, the N64 game.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that's a real copy. If that is a legit copy of Ocarina that you have that looks that good for that price, you can get people. And then they've been scrounging Reddit, just the cesspool of the internet, and getting people who have success stories who may possibly be plants, but we don't know. And it's like, look, I actually got a good trading deal, or I actually got this, and I'm just like, y'all don't do anything for the greater good. What's the deal? This is like when LexCorp tried to give people free energy. What's the real deal here? Like, what's your real game plan?
I mean, to further this more, like I just looked to see if I can get a copy of Techromancer. I can get the disc for $85. That's fair. Because that's one of the games not on the Capcom collection.
Right. Now I can understand that.
Said we got that piece of crap Capcom Fighting Jam.
Between you and Maximilian,
look, that thing is an art asset. Everybody knows it.
No, you're not wrong. It's just that you and Maximilian both mentioned on the same day why everybody hates Capcom Fighting Jam. So that's what I was laughing about. Not at you, Joe, but just the fact of the timing is what I'm getting at. But no, you're 100%. You guys are both 100% right. I can understand the reasoning behind some of the pricing. It's just that I fear that GameStop, because GameStop is doing what it did beforehand. We thought it was going to balance the force. It wrecked it. It killed EB game. It absorbed EB games. It killed just about every other video game chain out there outside of smaller mom and pop stations. As Tafari pointed out, they strategically put one right across from one. So if that's not threatening business, which I think it is, because now the retro market is starting to take over because, well, not everybody wants to get a PS5. Not everybody wants to get an Xbox Series X. Or, is the Nintendo Switch 2 going to be better than the original one? Nobody wants to sit there and really waste time on the highest level of gaming when retro gaming is relatively cheaper and easy to find if you don't want to do the mods. But I'm just saying, for the simple fact of the matter is just that I always saw GameStop as evil. I always saw GameStop as, seeing an opportunity, taking it, milking it for all it's worth, and then just throwing it away when they can't do anything with it. Because they did the same thing with ThinkGeek. They did the same thing with, I forgot what other brand they purchased besides ThinkGeek, but pretty much bought them, absorbed them, threw away what they couldn't use. It's like a vulture picking a carcass, and I think they're doing the same thing here. But again, that's just me. They could be more helpful for the retro gaming industry. Like I said, I just see GameStop as evil. That's all I'm saying. But one more quick bit before we get to our next trailer. For all those that are you're an Xbox user and you're worried that you will not be able to get to play the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, fear not. You will actually get to do it, Xbox fans, because come September 12th, you will have that version available to you somewhere between the release window of next year, between now and next year. So if anything, a lot of people were worried because remember when Microsoft bought those exclusives, they kept on thinking that Microsoft was going to, quote unquote, make certain games, Call of Duty, Xbox exclusives. But that doesn't seem to be the case because as me, Joe, and Tafari did point out about the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, it is worth playing, especially the 1 and 2, just because for me personally, Project Justice and Power Stone, I can't wait to get back to playing those again. But the fact if you were worried that you would not be able to play on Xbox, it will definitely come to you. So guys, is it more of Xbox fans were just, complaining until they got what they wanted, or was it just the plan all along? They just need to be patient.
I think it might have been a plan all along because for old games, you'll get a decent rush initially. Mm-hmm. But I feel like at this point, you need to, if you're going to relaunch, you need to come back as a multi-plat because, one, I don't think development and upscaling can even cost that much. You need to keep your servers running, and you're going to have all these other games. Ever since Fortnite went crossplay, I feel like it's kind of put everybody under this radar of they were able to do it, and they're not specific to any one console. So what's the holdup for the rest of you?
Yeah, that's fair. Joe?
What was the question again? I was about to answer, then just complete offline.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fight Collection coming to Xbox.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I am really, really happy that everyone's getting it. We did know it was an architecture thing, so that means it's great that Capcom's reaching out to work with them because I think Microsoft knows it will lose money, big money, if they do not get that on their systems, especially considering Capcom versus Marvel vs. Capcom is one of the highest pre-order physical games of all time at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. Keep that in mind. I think it has close to that record, if not had that record. And then we got the amazing Capcom Fighting Collection 2 coming out. Mm-hmm. And then no telling what we have in the future because we still have some stuff missing. I think it's just benefits everybody. If they can have it, even more so if we can get crossplay between the computer, the PC, the Xbox, and the PlayStation. because we know Nintendo's probably never going to do crossplay unless they unless they forcibly make Nintendo to do it. It's just not happening. But I see this as nothing but a positive.
I do as well. But yeah, Nintendo will never do crossplay unless they get offered money. But let's just be honest with Nintendo. But anyway, getting back to the trailers, we saw through a couple of weeks ago for Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns, we did see the gameplay for Cyrax. Now we're seeing the gameplay for Sector. Again, this is Mortal Kombat. You should not be surprised about the blood and gore.
Welcome to the party, baby doll. What's your name?
Call me Sektor.
I'll call you anytime you want.
I share his vision for the Lin Kuei. We won't be bound by Liu Kang's limits.
Is your fight over land, resources?
Myself and others seek a powerful future. They and their ilk cling to an anemic past.
You and Sub-Zero won't earn the Empress's mercy. Once said, her mind doesn't change.
We are not fighting for her mercy. We are fighting for our lives.
When I return, there will be anarchy.
Behold, no!
Do not doubt Sektor's longing for Sub-Zero's safe return.
We seek chaos. You defend order.
Bihan, can you hear me? Our goal is unchanged.
Finish him.
I forgot they were bringing back animalities. Or, is that what they're called?
Yeah, they're called animalities, which is basically your free updates for all players. I meant to mention that. But yeah, that was the gameplay for Sektor as for Chaos Reigns. As I think I was trying to see when she's available. My bad. I meant to see when she was available. I think that's
The same day Terry comes out.
Right, yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. So again, first thing I wanted to say was she's Iron Man. I mean,
basically, once during the fatality, I'm like, this is Riri Williams in Wakanda forever.
Pretty much. And her animality
She's also-
right now. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
She's also the daughter of Mrs. Bao.
Yeah. So I'm not against it. I would probably give it a shot, but they are upgrading a lot of different things on Mortal Kombat 1 from story included. I just finally was able to play MK1 and just now getting to the Chaos Reigns part of it. So I haven't gotten that deep into it, but I'd give Sektor a shot. What about you guys?
I'm curious to see what this Chaos, because I didn't see the end of the Mortal Kombat story. I'm curious to see what these Chaos Reigns goes into and if they're going to be doing more story packs after this. Because it feels like this is the longest they've run an MK game for a while. Usually they do like what 1-2 combat packs and call it a day.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's kind of like what they did with or Mortal Kombat 11 with Aftermath.
Yeah,
so
I don't even think I was Aftermath where Liu Kang is officially in charge of like the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's pretty much
where Jack's kept making poor life choices.
Yeah. I was still mad about that. You had Jax making poor life choices of all people. Johnny Cage, I can see that, but Jax, that I just feel like they did my boy wrong. But anyway, let us know what you guys think.
As for me, no, I will be asking. I would say, for me, no, I will not be. I will not be playing that. I'll be too busy asking how many people are they okay before punching them again. Look, if it's a choice between robot cyborg ninjas and Terry Bogard.
Well, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure you're going to be in the world of Street Fighter when since Terry done got loose. I meant to watch some videos of people actually playing him to see what happened, or checking out Joe on his Joe Italian last name and just seeing him play. Have you played with Terry yet?
He doesn't come out to the 24th.
Ah, sorry.
That's the big thing is that Mortal Kombat DLC drops the same day as Terry. And everyone's just like, those ninjas look nice, but Hungry Wolf.
That's going to be interesting. Considering the 24th, that's just less than 18 days away. But it's going to be interesting. But what's also interesting is, Joe, you called this one about Sparking Zero that eventually we were going to get Majin Buu. How do we feel about this before we play this?
Candy?
I'm curious about Super Boo's voice, but I'll get into that afterwards. People think the ending slot spells GT, and I just don't see it. I'm also curious because we finally started promoting Daima, who these last slots are going to get filled by.
I mean, there's not too many GT characters we got to go into. There's Pan, there's Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super 17, Baby, and Omega Shenron. That's just 5 to 6 slots.
I mean, but then some games they gave Shin and Nova Shenron. We could get into movie characters like Janemba. We could bring Bardock or any of that crew back because they all were playable characters before.
I thought Bardock was already announced.
Bardock is, but Bardock's team Bardock has been in previous Budokai games though. So I'm curious what movie characters we could bring in. Janemba's one that's usually brought in every time. I know we have Harudagarn's already been shown because they have the Giants trailer.
Super Android 13.
Yeah, Super Android 13, 14, and 15 could make an appearance. I'm curious to see who fills these last slots. I'm hoping they're all what-if characters since we're getting those scenarios. I'm also hoping we get more alternate fusions like we did in Budokai 2.
Okay, that's what this trailer's about. This one is the Majin Buu Saga trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
I wonder if this music is also not going to be in the final game.
Join me!
Who killed you?
Is that all?
Idiot!
It's pretty amazing. While I've been in Otherworld, I've done nothing but train. Goku!
I'm not whoever this Gohan is. I'm the one and only Great Saiyaman!
This is not over. I promise you that.
But it looks like you got plenty of energy.
You've outlived your usefulness. Be gone from my sight. Nice shot.
As you wish.
If I drop my guard for even a second, I'm toast.
Yeah.
Now, before your new master.
Let's go. It'll be over soon enough when I kill you.
I'll give you a fight.
You're going to pay for what you did to Kakarot's son.
Not a shred of you shall remain. Goodbye to you all, Trunks. And yes, even you, Kakarot.
This is what I call Super Saiyan 3.
Who really likes fighting you? Who wants to fight first? You want to hurt Mr. Satan? Then we'll take you down!
You're annoying. Die. You're annoying. We're gonna make you cookie.
Whoa, you pissed me off!
Fight you. I'm gonna kill you.
You can't win.
Kill you.
We'll kill you.
I'd say my strategy was quite successful.
You've got no honor, stealing other people's power.
Like you haven't pulled out all the stops in your misguided effort to beat me.
Vegeta!
Give it here!
Thanks, Vegeta.
All right! I am Super Vegeta!
You're an incredible warrior, Boo. It was you against the universe. You nearly won. I hope you can come back once more. But good. See ya!
Yeah, we got slots in the middle, slots off to the side, and slots up top.
Yeah, we do. Hang on, let me go back to it. So, okay, there we go. So, yeah, you still got quite a field to still fill out. Let's see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 18. You still got about a good 23 characters still left.
Yeah, so I feel like they could either, if Diamond's finally being teased, these could be the, and then those DLC characters, that could also be the slots they're going to fill out, or at least the bonus, the pre-order bonus people. So I'm curious to see who's left, or if these are all people you just got to play the game and find out.
Right. Joe, what do you think? Joe, you're muted.
Muted.
You muted, Joe.
Like I said, we got End of Z, so we have 3-year-old Pan. We have Oob. Those two are going to be auto-included, you know that. If we're adding stuff in from Super and the Broly movie, like we already see, we also know we're going to get 5-year-old Pan. Probably the twin cyborgs from whatchamacallit?
14 and 15.
From superhero, from Dragon Ball Superhero.
Gamma 1 and Gamma 2.
Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, which I guarantee you is probably those two slots in the upper right.
That could be it too.
Possible.
And then the rest could probably be GT and then Daima.
It'll be interesting because they are definitely coming out with quite the fighter list. I mean, it's expansive. I'll give it that much.
And Dragon Ball characters. We forgot there's a possibility of OG Dragon Balls, so that would mean some of the Red Ribbon, King Piccolo.
Probably a young Master Roshi, Grandpa Gohan, possibly a young Yamcha and Tien.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible.
Dragon Ball Goku, Dragon Ball Krillin.
That's going to be quite the fighter list. But then October, we say more getting closer to October, and that's all. And the release comes out this game October 11th, so we are definitely getting way closer to actually seeing this game come to fruition. But speaking of games, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but it needs to be said anyway. Rocksteady Studios is getting another shot. They are developing a new game. Keep in mind, they just are still trying to recover from Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and that wonderful train wreck.
Didn't they just lay people off too?
Yeah, they actually released. I think I want to say 1,800 employees. if memory serves me right.
And it's worse. I found out apparently the people who wrote Suicide Squad were like the two heads of Rocksteady that left. So this was 100% an internal sabotage on their own part, and then they just bailed and left the team with this mess.
Which is crazy. But about this new game, not a lot is known about it. It's still at least about a good 5 years out. They are going back to traditional single player games, so we might be seeing. I don't want to see another Batman game. I don't. And again, this is coming from a guy that loved the Arkham series, but leave Batman where it is right now. I would like to have a Flash game or a working Superman game or just somebody different. And again, I am a Batman fan. I love the Arkham series. I think Arkham Knight was the piece de resistance. You ain't topping it. For what you did with Arkham Knight, I'm sorry. And good luck to Arkham Shadow if you want to play it on VR. Good luck with that. I'm sure it'll be great. But to me, you're not topping Arkham Knight. But how do we feel about Rocksteady getting another shot? Because I think this is their last shot.
They're a good developer. You live long enough to see yourself become the villain, I guess, because to see what this fandom is and the guys in charge of everything else decided to willingly make the Suicide Squad game and that story, and then when they got the reception that we told them they were going to get, they up and just bailed on everyone. And I see why nobody followed them or why they took nobody with them, but Rocksteady's a good studio. Their credibility just got shot by bad decisions. So
pretty much.
We've seen what they can do with open world. We've seen how they can revolutionize combat. I mean, Arkham Asylum just turned 15 last week, so they have potential. And
also, Joe, before I turn to you, let me also say this. There is a rumor about Robert Pattinson's Batman getting a video game. The head honcho, who seems to be on top of everything, Mr. DC head James Gunn said himself, no, that is not the case. So for anybody expecting a Robert Pattinson Batman video game, the head honcho has said it himself. That is not happening. But Joe, your thoughts on this?
Should be a Wonder Woman game.
It should be. I'll agree with that.
Actually, I think it can't be a Wonder Woman game because I think the people that are making Shadows of Mordor are using the Nemesis system to make a Wonder Woman game.
I would be completely okay with that.
I mean, always room for second chances. I think making another Batman game would be foolish. If they do, they really, really need to think about what Batman they're doing. Right. Because they can't keep going back to Arkham considering they've literally killed off the Arkham Batman.
You pretty much, you've beaten that horse dead.
Now, what they could do, if they want to continue Batman, is make it an ultra-stylized game and make it like a Cape Crusader Batman, where it's a Gotham purely set in the 1920s and 30s.
Or go Batman Beyond?
Or Batman Beyond.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm all for Wonder Woman, Wow. I am all for Wonder Woman. I would love to see that game. I would love to see they keep trying to do Superman, or you could even go. There are other people in the DC world you can make games off of. Really and truly, you can. But I just think whatever they're going to do for the next 5 years, I hope you put a lot of thought into it because I think this second chance is your last chance. I think that if the next IP flops, I think it's the end of Rocksteady Studios. That's just me. I mean, they've already lost a lot of their workforce post Kill the Justice League Suicide Squad, which is now damn near free if you want it. But it's just like I said, I hope it's not a Batman game. I would hope they would do something different. But again, we'll find out 5 years from now. But
if
the other game,
they're really smart about it, they will take the scrapped art and concept of the Batman Beyond animated movie that was going to be like Spider-Verse and turn that into a video game.
Didn't they have a concept for a Batman Beyond game, or am I thinking of
Yes. No, you're not crazy. There was a concept.
Well, there was a Batman Beyond game.
Yeah. But there was a concept. The concept he's talking about was kind of can. But yeah, it's out there. if they choose to do it. It's almost the same as the movie. The movie is there if they choose to do it. But,
I mean, Detective Vision works so much better for Batman Beyond because it's just cyberpunk Bat Vision, Bat computer vision.
Yeah. And it would work. It honestly would work. But yeah, we'll just see come in 5 years. Also, before we get to our last trailer, SNK decided they did not want to be outdone. Considering the fact that last week we just announced that Capcom was announcing their fighting game collection Pack 2, SNK decided that we're not going to do one volume, but we're going to do 2 volumes. Both these volumes.
Well,
go ahead, Joe.
There is an asterisk to this.
Go ahead.
Right now, this is Japan only.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now continue. I was just letting everyone know. It's like there are collections coming out, guys. It's Japan only right now.
Here's what I say about this, and Joe is right. That these are going to be released in Japan. I think they're going to make their way to the States because they're putting too much behind them. Which Joe doesn't disagree with. We do know. We both think we know it's going to come to the States. But for all those that don't know, or wasn't around the time of SNK, or wasn't around a laundry and arcade place, there's a lot of games that we love that are near and dear to our hearts, like King of Fighters 94, Metal Slug, Mark of the Wolves, The Last Guardian, Riding Hero, Shock Troopers. I can go down the list, but the reason why I named those games is because in Volume 1, you actually get those old SNK games. Alpha Mission 2, Garu Mark of the Wolves, Metal Slug 10, Riding Hero, Samurai Showdown 5, Savage Rain, Shock Troopers, King of Fighters 94, Top Hunter, Roddy and Kathy, Top Players Golf. That's Volume 1. Already there's 7 games out there I would love to get back and playing again. Because Samurai Showdown 5 was my jam in a laundry room. But for Volume 2, same thing. Baseball Stars Professional, Fatal Fury 2, Ghost Pilots, Metal Slug 4. My words are going out the window. Mutation Nation, Neo Turf Masters, the original Samurai Showdown, Shock Troopers, Second Squad, Stake Splinter 2, and the King of Fighters 95. Now, again, you had to be, if your birth date was somewhere between 79 and 80 at the end of this, chances are you've played at least 3 of these games in each of these volumes. But if you haven't, get to the golden age of SNK, the things that we love to play. Now, like Joe said, these are only available right now in Japan. As you can see right there, will be released December 12th in Japan. However, still believe that it'll still make its way to the States. But Joe, I know you've played either some or all of these games. And Tafari, have you played any of these games, or do you remember?
I feel like I've gotten my hands on them either just in party plays every now and then, or just rare trips to arcades, but nothing that immediately speaks out to me. Mm-hmm. But definitely touch some of these in passing.
I'm just jumping off Riding Hero. Riding Hero came out around the same time as Road Rash. So that's why I love that MotoGP racing game. But yeah, Joe, what do you think?
I mean, if I got to import these, I will. I mean, Mark of the Wolves on here. KOF 95 is my favorite KOF. I actually have my original disc copy, which I remember getting from when Kroger's used to have video game rentals. When it was going out, they had a sale, and I rented it from them so much they held it for me and gave it to me for like $2.
Nice.
Because I was the only one that would rent it. So that's how I know how to fight Crab Claw style.
Just that. I was like, wow, you took me back. You said when Kroger's used to have them. Physical copies, guys. We keep saying physical media. Keep up with it. But yeah.
Oh, this disc won't play anymore. That thing's been disc doctored to hell.
Damn. But yeah, it's going to be fun when that comes out. But again, like we said, right now it's for Japan, but we know eventually it's going to come to the States because I think this got too much behind that. And again, we would like to enjoy the things Japan enjoys sometimes. Just saying. But the last trailer we do got, guys, as Tafari has pointed this out, this is a sleeper because I forgot about the Wild Robot. And it just goes to show you with everything coming out, also with Beetlejuice coming out today, Beetlejuice coming out today, I forgot this movie was still coming out about the Wild Robot. But If you guys don't remember, here's a trailer for it.
Incident report. At 0300 hours, a number of Universal Dynamics robots were lost in a typhoon. Chance of recovery is unlikely.
Do you need assistance?
Aggression detected. I see your problem. Processing language.
You need to learn how things work on this island.
Hello.
Goslings imprint on the first thing they see.
Which would be you. Here is another now.
I do not have the programming.
No one does. He needs to swim and fly.
Swimming's easy. I can teach him the way my mom taught me. Swim! He's a runt. His chances aren't super good.
I will protect him.
He's got to leave this island by fall.
Right, Bill?
It is more dangerous for him than anyone else. But he has a chance. If where his wings end, his heart can pay the balance.
You are not easy to find. You are defective. I feel fine. You should not feel anything at all.
Mom? No!
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be. I will protect all of you.
You are ordered to return home.
I am already home, and I am a wild robot.
I don't know how I feel about the bird getting yeeted.
Hey man, swim, sink or swim. Pedro Pascal ain't got time to teach this many damn kids in this many universes.
I mean, I didn't expect the fox to be like, I'm gonna just shoot you like a little bit, like a moment tree of me. Yeet. So wait a second. I was not expecting that. That is the Wild Robot, as you can see, guys. Comes out September 27th this year. This is gonna be a sleeper because I would take my kids to that. But what do you guys think?
It seems like the time it's like Wall-E. You don't really know what's going on and what the plot is, but there's clearly an interesting story being told, and you think it would just be just the robot raising the duck, but then clearly the entire retrieval plot of the movie and trying to get the robot back in line is going to be a whole separate thing. Somebody said it best. You know, Pixar and Disney have they got Big Hero 6 and Wall-E. Warner Brothers has the Iron Giant, and DreamWorks has this. So robot movies usually do well. I feel like this one's not being talked about a lot, but this is one of the few movies I've stumbled across where I'm genuinely curious to see what this is, especially because apparently it's based off a book, I'm being told.
I mean, I am really surprised. Again, it's amazing where some of these movies where it doesn't get a lot of advertisements or a lot of fanfare, and the fact that it's September 27th to 6th, 20 days away, and there's not a lot of press on this. This might actually wind up being a sleeper, because I definitely want to watch it. But Joe, what do you think?
It looks cute. I may see it.
I'm just sure about.
Or I may be in the theater seeing Transformers for the 30th time.
Is that this one?
Transformers 1? It does come out.
September
Good job.
20th. So it's a week before this.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not seeing a lot for any of these movies right now.
I'm telling you, the advertisements are an all-time low. I don't know why, but it's like advertisements on a lot of movies, and I just thought it was just me. It's like it's not as high as it used to be ever since Deadpool. Like Deadpool was running the airwaves for a while.
I don't think they can show too much of Transformers though.
Yeah, maybe, but still, it's just. I mean, not even a single commercial. I mean, even crappy movies get commercials. But again,
right? It's I'll take movie trailers. I'm tired of seeing the same AI voice do every robot ad on YouTube now. It's getting old real fast.
Oh, they're
voice actors again.
And this is why those video game voice actors are striking, because this is what you can do with T1000. I can see why they're a little bit concerned. I can. But
yeah, I hope that movie genuinely does well. I guess when they heard we're taking care of a child, somebody said get Pedro to play the fox. Because why not just keep having him deal with children in every movie?
Yeah.
But I feel like it'll get nominated for something, even if it doesn't get a lot of viewership. I feel like it'll be a sleeper, similar to. Now a lot of people didn't see, I think, because of COVID, but like the Bob's Burgers movie was actually really good, but a lot of people didn't talk about it.
Yeah. That it also was a sleeper because again that was around the time of COVID.
And Mitchell's versus the Machines was amazing.
I've heard that one was good too. I think I was watching it on a plane ride and I didn't finish it, but I'm like, why did this have like a lot of fanfare when it dropped and then no one talks about it? But the movie was really well done.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like a lot of these movies, they don't. It's that's the part that's always weird to me. It's like you see some movies, you see it everywhere. And again, I bring up Deadpool Wolverine because it's something we've always wanted. Ryan Reynolds and his group is a master of advertising because, man, the press blitz they did was immaculate. And then you get some movies like The Wild Robot where it's just like, unless you have to see it on YouTube just in passing, you wouldn't know. But again, I hope it does well too. I definitely want to come see it in 20 days. But that being said, before we get to our comic pools, AEW, because we usually have a state of wrestling. AEW has All Out happening this Sunday in Chicago. And just to go over the fight card for a second, again, it's not really much there. Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry will go for the AEW World Championship match. Really not a lot there. AEW still trying to make Jack Perry a thing. I don't know why. Bryan Danielson still has the title, so he's kind of going on this, win or go home situation when the end of his career. If I was a betting man, I'd say Danielson would retain the AEW International Championship with Will Ospreay versus Pac. I say Will Ospreay will keep it, even though that should be a hell of a match between those two. AEW TBS Championship match between Mercedes Malone and Hikaru Shida. Oh, Lord, Mercedes Malone needs so much freaking help. Presentation and mic skill wise. I'd say more than likely they're going to keep the title on her because they've got too much invested in her. So she's probably going to keep it and go on. AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the Young Bucks and the BCC. Young Bucks will probably keep it because they still want to keep the title going on them. Although Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, great wrestlers, should be getting the title reign, but they're going to probably keep it on the heels. Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander Chicago Street Fight. I love Willow Nightingale. I love Chris Statlander, but it's just basically TV filler for them to beat the hell out of each other for about 20 minutes. But my betting match is it'll probably have Statlander winning. Steel Cage Lights Out match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. If you did not watch Dynamite, or at least the last 5 minutes, they kind of took a book out of the Attitude Era because they burned down a house on live television. With the crowd screaming, "This is arson." Not "this is awesome," "this is arson." And it has been a while since I've seen something out of the WWE era to where they try to hype up a match between two men. Burning down a house on live television will definitely do it. But if I was a betting man, they'll probably have Strickland winning this. AEW Continental Championship match between Kazuchika Okada and 3 more opponents. Now, keep in mind, This is a fatal four-way. As of yesterday, the other three have not been named, so they will probably be named at the time of the match. Should be great because if you know who Okada is, the Rainmaker from New Japan Wrestling, he'll probably still retain anyway. And then finally, you have MJF versus Daniel Garcia. Again, Garcia's basically been getting a push. MJF is still playing the heel as he used to be. More than likely, this is probably going to be a no DQ match, which means that probably MJF is going to probably wind up booked to win on this. So, with that also being said, this does happen on pay-per-view this Sunday. So watch it however you choose to, and I'll give my review on it in the IG and Facebook post. But anything you want to guys add to that? Okay, cool. And also from the WWE side, Bad Blood is the next pay-per-view that's happening in Atlanta, Georgia, but that will not happen until October. Fight card is adding up as we speak, although they're really wanting to do an entire Samoan pay-per-view. I'm not against it, but at the same time, like I said, there's other wrestlers out there that could be getting that shine. I'm just talking about Street Profits. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But with that being said, guys, as we're about to get to our comic book pulls, we do want to. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, do we have any other news that we want to talk about?
That's everything off my slate.
Joe?
The Odyssey Jones stuff?
Oh, yes. Odyssey Jones. Thank you. For all those that are probably wondering, Odyssey Jones has run into a little bit of DV problems because the WWE has decided to pretty much 86 this man, not only from the roster, not only from the alumni page, but for anything associated with it. All of us here at GetBit, we are definitely not for this. We do not condone domestic violence in any form, fat, or fashion. So if this man who is allegedly accused of this domestic violence, he should face, if found guilty, he should face the full extent of the law and its penalties. However, WWE is not playing anymore when it comes to anything of domestic violence, substance abuse, all the above. Because again, they're trying to, give it to Triple H and them. They investigate it. If you're found dirty, you're out. Don't believe me? Ask Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann got bounced faster than Odyssey Jones did. And yet somehow he's still in TNA. Figure that one out. But yeah, again,
I mean, they're dropping like a whole storyline because of this.
Yeah, the New Day is affected, and I'm glad they're affected in a good way because. I don't mean to get in this rant, guys. You don't split your merch teams. The New Day is a merch team. WB knows it because whenever they have something to peddle, whenever they have something to hawk or show, 9 times out of 10, Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston is the front of it. Now you don't kill your merch teams. Why? Anytime you split a tag team, history-wise, neither opponents don't do well. Neither members do well. Reason being, look at Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Where are they now? Big Cass is over. Big Cass has reinvented himself, and he's over at AEW. Enzo is in obscurity. At the same time, look at Heavy Machinery when they had Otis and the other guy, which nobody could name anymore. Otis somehow found his footing, but he found it within Alpha Academy. The other guy, well, he got released. So imagine, do you really want to split up not only a prominent tag team, but your best showing of black wrestlers on television right now? I'm just saying.
Well, the problem is they were a 3-man team and they need a third man because they are not as, while still selling, they are not as relevant as a tag team as they used to be.
So I have a wonderful suggestion for that. Big E could be the manager.
That's going to make too many people want him to get into the ring. But
here's the thing. They don't want to replace.
We just don't do managers anymore in WWE.
And that's the problem. Managers used to make shit fun. They really did. Either they made it fun or they made it serious or they made it work. But that's the problem. You forget we don't got granted, there's only one Paul Heyman. Let's just be honest. That man can make anybody sound and look good. But you don't have your Jimmy Harts, your Bobby Heenan. You don't have your I forgot her name already.
Well, there's a problem right there. If you have a manager, you're a heel team. New Day can never be heels.
Yes. Well, wait. You can be manager and be a face. You can have a manager and be a face. It just depends. Because that's the reason why Big E would work. Big E would work as a manager for the New Day because he's basically taking his former position. That's pretty much what he does. You don't need the man. You don't even need the man to wrestle. Hell, you don't even need to take a bump. Because let's be honest, how many of us all try to imitate Big E's intro with the New Day? I know I did.
If you're a manager and you come out with the team, they have to be heels because you're the one. The manager is the one that's going to be interfering in the match to ensure that they win.
Wait.
Meaning the New Day have to be heels.
So wait. If that's the case, then what happened when I'm trying to think, because most managers aren't. If you have a manager by a tag team, and feel free to jump into this, everybody's listening to this, because that's a good debate question. I don't think because you have a manager, your team has to be healed. The manager could be there, and let's be honest, managers also interfere on faces. If your team is still a face, they're still going to interfere some way, somehow. I mean, look at Eddie. Even with Eddie Guerrero, he was considered what a cool heel, and he had China, and China still interfered, even though the crowd loved him. So again,
China, because they had a romance storyline going on, that's different.
But it's still the same thing. You just sat there. I mean, that's my point I'm making. He was still again, I'm using him as a cool heel. I'm not saying he's a face, because cool heel was the thing around the Super Clicks and around the NWO and things of that nature. I'm just saying that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be, flat out hated by the crowd when you have a manager.
But if you have a manager, not a valet, those are two different things.
Understood.
Sonny valet, Sable valet. This is keyword valet. Let's look at the managers on the manager side.
Okay, I got one for you.
Mr. Food, Mr. Whipple, Food,
okay.
Mr. Food, Mr. Whipple, Mr.
Yeah,
Fuji,
fair.
Bobby the Brain Heenan, Kevin Hart, or not Kevin Hart, but Hart,
Jimmy Hart.
Who else?
Brother Love.
Jimmy Hart. I don't know why I was thinking Brother Love. Paul Bearer.
Oh, you can't put
all of them were all heel managers.
No, I can't say Paul Bearer was a heel manager, because Undertaker for the longest time was never a heel or a face. He was at in between, but he
Undertaker
was
counted as a heel because he was a monster to be fed to Hogan initially, and then the gimmick got over.
That's when he was considered a heel.
He was put against Hogan and Warrior. At that point, he was a heel because he was meant to go against Hogan.
Well,
so if you go against Hogan, you're automatically heel. This was the more black and white.
That's fine. That's
in terms of morality.
Well, that's the part I'll give you, because at the time there was already a face. I'll give you that part. Go ahead.
Then with Kane, then Paul Bearer with Kane.
But then face
Paul Bearer with Mankind, when Mankind was a heel. So if you're a manager, you're more often than not MVP with Hurt Locker.
See, Hurt Locker really wasn't heels though.
Or Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business, but that really wasn't heels.
They were heels.
I'll agree to disagree on that one. I don't think they were heels.
Edge with the Judgment Day.
That was automatic heels, because Edge wanted to. I'll give you that. That's heels altogether. I'll give you that. That's just basically.
If you're a valet, or you're a third member of a tag team, more often than not, you're a face. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes,
but they do the same thing.
But if you're a manager, more often than not, you're a manager and you're a heel.
But valets and managers both interfere. So what's the difference?
Valets will not cheat to win. They'll cause, and if they cause distraction, it's cheating to win.
I mean, if that's the case, then Alpha Academy is quote unquote heels.
Do they cheat? Do they cause distractors to cheat to win, or do they just keep out back interference?
No, there were a few times they did cheat to win. That's why I'm just like, it's the same thing with the valet. But again,
if you have a manager, the question is not make Big E the manager. The better question is, how do you make New Day heels?
You don't need. I mean, okay. Let me ask you this before we move on, because that's going to take us down a rabbit hole. Why do you think the New Day needs? Why do you think the New Day needs to go heel?
I don't think they need to go heel, but if they need a manager, they need to be heels.
Okay, but here's my thing. If they go heel, then that means that either you're pushing them to a title, you're pushing them in a title contention, and even so, if you look at the current division and the roster right now, your heels outnumber your faces. So my thing is, if you
they definitely need to be repackaged a little bit lightly.
I'll give you that. There does need to be new packaging, but I think it's falling into that John Cena role, where John wasn't going. They wanted Cena to go heel so many times, but you couldn't. He was stuck.
He's been a heel before.
Well, he just
didn't understand that when he wasn't a heel.
He had heelish activities, but he wasn't flat out, I'll give you that. There were some times he pulled
That's
some
because the crowd was always behind him at that point.
That's what I'm saying. So you see what I'm getting at? It's like he couldn't really go heel when you got it's like you put somebody through 3 tables trying to be heels and the crowd applauds you for it. It's hard to make that work.
As much as I don't like quoting Mr. Tennis Racket, which, by the way, heel manager. It's like, why does he have a manager? He's a heel.
Oh, Jim Cornette! If we ever get the chance to get him on this show, that man will be funny as hell. Oh,
God,
that'll be interesting as hell to interview that dude. But anyway, we're gonna be going down a rabbit hole with the state of wrestling. I promise we'll give it more attention. We'll give it more attention in the next episodes. But before we do get to our comic pulls, we do always want to show love to Rick's Comic City, Nashville's #1 place to go to for comic books, for mangas, for collector's items. You name it, they have it. 2 locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee. Also, their website at rickscomiccity.com. Definitely check them out. Let people know GetBit sent you. It doesn't get you any discounts, but hey, you see our mugs on their television. We show them love, so they show us love. At the same time, guys, if you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. They need that support, your patronage, the experience you just cannot get anywhere else. At the same time, kids, there in some libraries, they do now have a banned book list. I cannot stress enough. Read the banned books. You will be better off for it because, again, that is literature, that is education, that'll definitely help your life. So, again, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. If you're in the Middle Tennessee area, support Rick's Comic City. Trust me, you'll thank us later. Joe, I do see you have your comic pulls up, sir, so whenever you're ready.
Oh, I was going to say in Florida, the banned books list is now just a whole wing.
Damn. I can believe it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Starting with all, we got Justice Society #11. This is written by Jeff Johns, with art by Marco Santucci. This is a giant brawl between the Legion of Superheroes and the Justice Society as past and future collide with the present because Mordru is doing something, and it turns out it's all Eclipso. This is the big wrap-up. This is the big finale for Jeff Johns on Justice Society. They're actually going to be rebooting this book with the current members of the Justice Society and whatnot. It will no longer be Jeff Johns. I don't know the team writing it, but I am looking forward to it, as I'm a huge JSA fan. This was a decent wrap-up, but this was also very rushed because I can tell they told Johns to wrap it up this issue because The Eclipso diamond just came right out of left field for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Really
Because
did.
we were dealing with Perdegaton and his stuff, and then all of a sudden, left field, it was Eclipso.
Mm-hmm.
So this was definitely the wrap it up issue.
I can see that. I mean, it kind of felt like that.
Not bad.
That pacing was all over that pacing was all over. Was everywhere, honestly. But yep, made sense.
It was like the Chappelle Show skit.
Wait a minute. Say it one more time. What about the Chappelle Show skit?
Wrap it up light was on.
Oh. Wrap it up, John. Wrap it up, Johns. Dang, somebody at Warner Brothers. Wrap it up,
I bet we got Absolute Power number 3. Next up, we got Absolute Power number 3. This is written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora, colors by Alejandro Sanchez. This is moving along pretty well paced. We take possibly 2 giant threats, and Amanda Waller's is aware that apparently goodness is now a superpower that can be downloaded into her Amazo robots, while everyone abandons the Fortress of Solitude and goes to Themyscira, and it's like, we're gonna have to kill John. And Nick's like, yeah, we can't kill John. No, we're gonna have to take that child down. That child is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. They also deal with the Brainiac Queen pretty quickly, which was kind of disappointing in my opinion, how big of a threat she was made to be and how quickly they tossed her away in this. But I will say the art is absolutely gorgeous in this. Everybody gets something to do. Really good fight against John. I'm looking forward to see how this ends, because we do know that Amanda Waller has one more card up her sleeve, because she's called in reinforcements in the other book.
Yeah, it was definitely an injury. I love the fact how Nightwing is really getting a prominent role in this, and he definitely does deserve that. Although it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna leave that alone because that's gonna kind of spoil it. I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to get too deep into this issue because I think it's gonna spoil the next one. But it does give you a reason to read the next. I'll put it this way: it gives you a reason to read the next issue. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to go too much in detail on that.
I did like Amanda's thing. It's like, goodness is a goddamn superpower.
I'm telling you.
That made me laugh. Moving on over, we have 0 Hour 30th Anniversary Special. This is written by Dan Jurgens and Ron Mars. Art by a lot of artists. Daryl Banks, Kelly Jones, Tom Grummett, Norm Ratman, Jerry Ordway, Paul Petler, Howard Porter, Dan Jurgens, and Brett Breeding, and Alex Sinclair with... So, this is Joe's favorite book for the week already, and this was a hard toss-up. I'm also incredibly biased. Kyle Rayner book. The whole ditty is, this is a different reality where this is still kind of like the early 90s on this earth, and Infinite Crisis has yet to happen. Black is trying to prevent it from happening by using all his powers, and once Kyle's power, because Kyle is a Green Lantern that should not exist in this universe. I mean, he was jumped over from another universe and dealing with these superheroes, because in this universe, for example, Batman is dead, but all his kids are continuing. Donna's in a bizarre mashup of her Wonder Woman costume from the 90s and her Wonder Girl outfit. Kara's in a Kryptonian recharging suit. Jackson, his current attire, which they have just given him now just for like photo purposes. But this is just one big Kyle Rayner love story because, Ron Mars and Daryl Banks made Kyle what he is to start him off with. Plus wearing his classic 90s costume. I love getting to see Jack back and stuff. It was this overall very enjoyable book for me because 0 Hour is one of my favorite Crisis, which is an unpopular opinion, but like that jump started a lot of the superheroes I grew up with in the 90s. So that's why.
I figured you would like that book because it was Kyle. I was trying not to laugh. Because as soon as I saw this, I was
like
like,
I said,
no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's Joe. No, you're right. This is definitely a book for me. Plus, like I said, we got to have Jack in here too because like those two and Connor are like the most three iconic characters of the 90s for DC at that point.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Now, obviously, I was gonna like this. Moving on over. Art by Humberto Ramos and inks by Victor Olazaba and colors by Edgar Delgado. This is just finishing up their first arc dealing with Arcade and Hammerhead of gang war, but it's the Spider People dealing with robots. Good wrap up. Solid introduction of Knave, even though like he's kind of a throwaway character, but we needed some sort of super duper big bad to finish out this first arc. We're also dealing with the fact that there are clones running around of the coffee house people that I couldn't really tell, are they all vermin now or what?
They look like vermin. I was thinking the same thing at first, but it's like they look like vermin, but that's a toss-up. I was between vermin and mole people.
Yep. So, like I said, decent. Greg Weisman knocks out of the park with his writing. Humberto Ramos, Scott, I love his art. I do look forward to seeing what we're going to get next time.
Spider-Man books.
Yep. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, written by Cody Ziegler, with art by Federico Vincentini and colors by Brian Valencia. We are continuing the Miles versus the Vulture because he is technically dating the Vulture's granddaughter. He's also dealing with his vampirism ability stuff, overamping his current spider abilities, meaning like he could potentially kill somebody on accident at almost any given point if he doesn't try to rein it in. So there's a lot of stuff there. He's also dealing with the girlfriend because he's in constant like peril against her grandfather. We get a new costume for the Vulture, which is fine. I guess they kind of made him look a little bit like Across the Spider-Verse Vulture, but not really towards the end. It's more of a aviator suit than an actual Vulture suit.
Yeah. Although I'm getting get off my lawn vibes from it, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I like that they're still trying to balance all this with Miles, that he's now a vampire, controlling that, because I was worried they were going to drop that storyline in general, but it's been fun with it. Hopefully they wrap that up soon.
The whole thing of him and just the whole idea of him in blood, that was interesting that he was worried about pulling his punches. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to Superior Spider-Man where Doc Ock realized Peter could have killed you all. He's like, he's been holding back his punches this entire time? Yup, could have killed you all. I'm just saying, more efficient.
Pretty decent book. Cody Ziegler continues to write a solid Miles Morales. I always enjoy when he pops up. Moon Knight Annual #1. It's written by Dan Waters with art by Mark Arena and colors by Rachel Rosenberg. This is kind of in continuity, out of continuity. It's part of the Infinity Watch, which is happening only in annuals.
Mm-hmm.
It fits in the Moon Knight continuity, but like you don't have to read this to keep up with the story.
True.
That's really all I got because I don't know what was going on in the Infinity Watch.
Well, it's to not to cut you off on that, Joe, but the Infinity Watch
I just
story,
know he's fighting Colleen for whatever reason.
Yeah, so basically, Colleen is now the.
I wish they wouldn't do this with annuals because remember they did this with the. If they're doing that contest to came too early before.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit of delay tag. But I was just there and say that no, this one it's part of the Infinity Watch where they're basically saying that certain people are
You're
wielding.
Still loading in on my end.
Okay. So yeah, we might have to count this out to far.
I wouldn't go out of the way if you're a Moon Knight fan.
Because yeah, it's still going out.
I think we're good.
Go ahead, Joe.
You may need to pop back out and pop back in.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, there he goes. Everybody's back together.
Wait, was I missing?
That was weird.
Okay,
we got Scarlet Witch written by Steve Orlando, art by Giacomo Kaminagi, and art by Frank William. This is the finale for this arc. Wanda comes back, and this is interestingly being narrated by the patron of Probability, which is Wanda's patron.
Mm-hmm.
The Maximoff twin, pretty much just all of Magneto's kids are fighting Griever, and we finally get the end of the fight. Wanda just like does her dirty in this fight. Just unbelievably dirty. And we also get a nice little scene of them eating out of by magnetically held skillets. However, we find out what the next arc is going to be. I am all for it. This was a great book. This book is also getting a lot of controversy on Twitter from what I'm seeing with some Wanda fans against Steve. I think they're more projecting against Steve than they are the book itself, which is very unfortunate because we got to talk to Steve. He's an awesome dude. I don't know why people got to hate on him.
Wait, what are they mad about with the book?
Right.
Four, 5, 6.
Nope, we're all back.
Nah, what were they hating about the book, Joe?
They were just saying this is a complete portrayal of Wanda and like it makes no sense and stuff like that. It's like, no, if you read the book, everything like check is on the up and up.
Okay.
They're probably just using some elements from the upcoming Agatha all along, just like help make more people familiar with certain aspects of the show.
Okay. Makes sense.
I liked it. I thought it was great.
It was a nice little wrap up. But
And
this
then finally
next
for
one,
tonight, we got Exceptional X-Men. This is written by... Oh.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yep. This is Exceptional X-Men. This is written by and colors by Nolan Woodward. I really like this book. This was so much fun. This continues Kitty Pryde. We meet a new mutant who I think has some power similar to Colossus, except only she's bronze. And then Emma Frost at the end, we check in and see what she's up to. And the moment she starts talking, I realize what this book actually is. This is a new version of Generation X.
That would explain why I'm not digging this book. That would explain it.
Because she's like, who? Because Emma's trying to figure out who she needs to be like teaming up with for this new team. And the moment she says Banshee, no. It's like, this is Generation X, but with Kitty Pryde. And our new team is these three kids behind them. I really, really like this book. I like that Kitty is establishing normal life for herself, but still can't get away from all the violence and the racism. The poor little girl got pulled into this world. Her powers are cool. I like that, like, even her hair, to an extent, gets chromed down to be used for powers, and then at the end of it, we just see Emma. So I really, really dug this.
I tried. This is probably going to be one that's I'm probably not going to be the target demographic for, but I still encourage everybody to read it, to at least give it a fair shot. I just realized it's probably not going to be my cup of tea on this one.
Well, what didn't you like about it?
The direction. It's the whole thing of Frost leading and then just the pace of it. Like I said, it didn't speak to me. Like, for most comic book stories, I dig them, but this makes me think that I'm probably not going to be the target demographic for it. So I'm not trying to shoot it down and saying it's just a terrible written issue for it to be issue 1. It just may not be for me, but might be for someone else though.
Yep, but that's what I came across is this is like a new version of Generation X. And I'm like, yeah, I really like Generation X. So I'm all for it.
Cool. All right. So was that hang on. Okay, there you go, Joe. Was that the list? Because I just saw you bounce back.
Yeah, that was the list.
Okay. Just had to make sure. A little bit technical difficulties everywhere. But thank you for that, Joe. And as we wrap it up, guys, we always do want to start first with the man, the myth, the legend, the one who keeps getting mentioned all over the place. Safari, you want people know what you're doing, sir?
Yeah, you can find me doing a lot of short form content now that I have more free time. So I'm usually posting every Monday or just whenever I'm bored. So you can find me on all platforms underneath this name. Blurred's Eye View. We are finally wrapping up our summer adventures. We just dropped interview number 4 with Phil Lamar. Shorter conversation, but a lot of fun. Got to pass off a message from Gary Anthony Williams. So that was a lot of fun to pass off to see his reaction to. On my own channel, I just did a breakdown for the 25th anniversary of Sonic Adventure. Just all the games in the canon story up until this new movie we got coming out in the game next month. I am also doing a rewatch through X-Men Evolution. I'm officially on to season 3. Doing those every Wednesdays. We are 4 parts in with 4 to go. And just a lot more randomness and stuff coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned. And Blurred's Eye is back next week. So kick in for that.
Yep, that we are. Joe, want to let people know what you're up to, sir?
If I'm not streaming on Twitch, find Tafari and I, and sometimes Shadow. We're doing watches on Ultraman. We just had a super weird one where we learned about how money works, how VTubing works, and homages to Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, all in one episode. We also did a full watch and review of Kamen Rider Gav episode 1, which I think we all really enjoyed.
Okay.
I don't know. What did we enjoyed it, right?
Oh, I thought he had more to add, but yeah, I like Kamen. That was my first time with a Kamen Rider series. I was more so surprised that we gave off bloodshed in this show compared to Ultraman, where you think that would be more appropriate with the weird things we have to fight. But Kamen Rider seems like that nice middle ground before you get into a more graphic and adult-esque show. It seems like the next kind of step you would take in that journey of that type of genre.
Oh, we can do an episode of Garo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We can escalate this further.
Let's not.
Garo's called Hyper Midnight Action Drama for a reason.
Jesus.
Slow pacing.
Now, he's only in it sometimes.
Okay.
Lord.
No, but we're sticking with Ultraman. We're only doing Gav episode 1 because, as I continue to state, Super Rai is much more lenient than Toei is. And I want to be able to keep my channel around, so the relatively quickly formed Tokusatsu Tri Squad, which is myself, Tafari, and Shadow, whenever he comes on, we'll be continuing with Ultraman Arc. We do have a more traditional episode this week. The episode 8 and the Gav stuff will be up this week. Other than that, I'm just trying to survive. I will not be here next Friday because I will be at the Star Trek convention.
Lucky duck.
Getting all the Star Trek news. Getting pictures with Tawny Newsome and other people. I've already decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a group photo with all the Lower Decks people that are there.
Nice.
And I'm going to hold up a pie. Kind of like the disc from Tron. If you think about it, it's perfectly appropriate for Lower Decks.
Yeah, you're right. I just pictured in my head as you're saying it. I was picturing it in my head. Oh Lord! All right, I guess it's my go. Before I do my shameless plugging, guys, I do want to shout out BlurStation.com. It is the vehicle we keep talking about, the table that we've always needed for people of color and for blurs and for nerds. It is the place where we can own the content and it can be distributed and shared. Again, if you do want to go to it, guys, BlurStation.com is where you can find it. $10.99 to join. If you do decide to join, please select the Blurred's Eye View affiliate membership. Select Safari TV or Black Spartan. Either one of us, we would appreciate it. Again, guys, we keep talking about how to be successful, how Amazon's successful, how Netflix, you name it. They're only successful because of our viewership and our content. Imagine what we can do if we focus on ourselves. And again, if you do have content that you would love to show on Blur Station, you do have to join as a member first. That allows you to speak to people behind the curtain. Once you speak to them and get some things ironed out, you will be able to have your content on Blur Station and you will be able to own it. They just want a piece of the distribution. That's all they ask. But definitely check them out, BlurStation.com. And our podcast is always seen where a podcast can be seen or heard, including APR TV. You can definitely go to alwayspressrecord.com or on a Roku or smart device, pull up the app, and you'll be able to see this show and how the frick we got here on APR TV as well as other shows. But definitely check them out. Again, content that we can own in places that are owned in places by us mean that we can actually be our own businesses. That is all I'm saying. Outside of that, guys, you can find me, Black_Spartan615 on the socials, pretty much talking about anything and everything. Again, love to talk to people. Just, don't be weird. I don't like blocking people. I don't, like to keep a list. But keep it nice. I'll talk to you. You're nice to me. I'm nice to you. Simple as that. At the same time, guys, let me put up the link that's been actually down at the bottom. We'll blow it up just a little bit bigger. If you copy and paste this link to your browser, take the link to this YouTube and Facebook group for all of our podcasts. Again, like, share, and follow, as the Reverend Navy would say if he was here. A like, a share, and a follow costs nothing but means everything. And we simply put cannot do this without you. And the reason why I bring this up, guys, also is because Safari TV definitely has cons, because cons are just going on. Dragon Con is actually just wrapped up not too long ago. But he has a couple of videos on how to prepare for a con, how to survive a con, and what to do post-con. Again, very helpful videos. You definitely should check them out, as well as the rules themselves. A couple of rules I also have for myself as for going to a con. Number one, respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplay is not consent. Simply put, treat them as human beings, because, again, that's what they are. They are not there for your amusement. They are not there for your pleasure. They are simply there for the love of cosplay and fandoms, and all you have to do is just be a human. Be nice. Have manners. It's not that freaking hard. And cosplay is for everybody, regardless of your height, weight, preference. Again, there are no rules to cosplay except for one. Don't do blackface. You don't want your ass kicked at a con? Don't do blackface. That freaking simple. Number two is hygiene, guys. Clean clothes, clean cosplays. Again, soap, water, deodorant. It's not that hard. These are places where there may not be very little space. At the same time, body heat will definitely show if you have odor, and then deodorant doesn't work. And also the same rules the third rule I have, guys, thank you for watching me this far, because words are hard, is, again, be nice, be kind, share your fandoms, don't be a dick. You get a whole lot farther at these cons by being nice. Trust me, you really will. Nobody gets far being an asshole. Just saying. But as we wrap this up, guys, we will definitely be back here. Same Get Bit time, same Bit channel. As we await Joe, who will come back from Star Trek Convention with a picture of the pie holding it up like a Tron wheel. I will definitely post that if you do get that, by the way. But we will definitely be back next week. Same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. Also, guys, please go to vote.org. I know we don't talk about voting a lot on this show, but again, for what's coming up down the pipe, vote.org. Please check your registration. Please make sure you're registered. Please make sure you know exactly where to go to vote. Joe cannot, Tafari cannot stress this enough. Please go there. Make sure you're cool, because we all have something we need to do come November. And honestly, we do need to assemble on that. That's just being honest. But as we wrap this up, guys, anything else we want to say before we call it a night?
Enjoy Beetlejuice. I've heard good things so far.
Yes, that's another thing too. Beetlejuice is definitely out, and so far the reviews have been great. Joe?
Look into that new Linkin Park lead singer. She's not all that cracked up to be.
Yeah, that did drop. Everybody, quit giving that girl grief. Like, let's be happy Linkin Park is doing music again.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, and I'll say this as we wrap this up. Yes, Linkin Park has a new singer. Yes, she might have some questionable decisions in the past. My thing is, she's allowed to give a shot. Before judgment is passed on this girl, because let's be honest, Chester is a one-of-a-kind, unique voice to Linkin Park. That man's voice will never be duplicated. So, that being said, that Linkin Park did move on with a new singer. I do love the single. I do hope that they have much success. But people, quit pining for something that just simply cannot happen anymore. We will never get a voice like Chester's again. The Linkin Park sound that's coming forward will not be the same that you're getting now. So give the poor girl a shot first before you down her. That's all I'm saying. I mean, because Chester said it best. It wasn't his band to begin with. It was actually Mike's band. It was Warner Brothers at the time that tried to make it Chester's band, and Chester said a big F them. He's not the star of the show. The entire band is the star. So again,
is that why they only had 2 good albums?
What, Linkin Park did?
Yeah, after Meteora, like they just became like pop stuff.
That can be argued, but that's for another day. But anyway, what we're saying is, guys, please give people a shot. Again, you gave Ezra Miller a shot, and this man still was allowed to do Flash, and he needs
a manager.
You're right about that. He needs a manager. But anyway, Again, guys, be nice, be kind. We are definitely out, and we'll be back next Friday. Again, guys, simply put, don't be a dick. I've been Will. He's been Tafari. He's been Joe. This has been Give It Podcast. Have a good night, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. And again, be nice, be kind. Thank God the weather is finally coming down. Peace.
He's a he.